It's story time with Tim. I'm just gonna, tell you about what all happened this weekend that you didn't get to see. It started with Chris and his mom and myself landing in Eugene 2 nights ago. Sans luggage. Normally not a big deal, but as you'll recall, first thing yesterday morning I had plans to shoot 3 music videos. So I had to figure out how to do it without luggage. All my shirts were in there. Now I had traveled here after the Oregon Jamboree, which we did about a week ago, and then I flew back for a couple days and was going to come back, and I was like, well, I don't want to take everything. So fortunately, I left 1 pair of jeans and then my boots here. So I'm like, okay, I just got to figure out shirts. I need 3 shirts. So for one video, I wore one of Adam Chance's shirts. For the next video, I wore one of Peter Hollands' shirts.
You look great in it.
Thank you. Sorry about stretching it out. And then in the third video, I wore one of Abe's shirts. Now, Abe has a pretty distinctive way of dressing.
We love you, Abe.
You look okay in it.
Thank you. No, I certainly didn't pull it off. Thankfully, it's been immortalized in a music video. He looked so distinct that he had brought me a number of shirts to choose from, and he hung them up on a little clothing rack, which is in that greenhouse koi pond pool room thing. And every time I walk through there, I think Abe is standing there. And so I'm later walking from there back to here, and I kind of hear from a distance Abe's wife yell a question to me that clearly was intended for Abe. And I just turned and looked at her, and she goes, "Ugh. Why are you dressed like that?" I said, "I don't have much of a choice." And so I shot those music videos, and then, as y'all know, I just proceeded to wear that shirt for the rest of the day. So I performed last night in that shirt.
Yeah, man!
That's right. Sorry.
Mr. Turd.
Yeah. And
Dukes, them Dukes.
And even some of y'all were like, "What are you wearing? What is this short sleeve button up Western shirt you're wearing?" Anyway, I'll watch that and get it back to you, Abe.
We should auction it off. Are you kidding? I know Abe should auction it off, actually.
Yeah.
Well, that's up to Abe. It's a Pendleton, so I don't know about all that. But as I mentioned, I had 1 pair of jeans at this point, and Abe's shirt, and Peter and Jimmy and I decided to film out in the pasture, and so we decided to just climb over the barbed wire fence. I think you guys know where this is going.
Oh no.
I went from 1 pair of pants to 0 pairs of pants. So I was like, "Jimmy, we're not going to be doing any shots from behind. I'll tell you that right now." Because many of y'all know a few years back, right before we were going to take the stage at the Ryman Auditorium, I snagged a pair of pants on a road case backstage. Like, you don't need any more pressure on a Ryman Auditorium day and just crotch to the world. So it's like, all right, well, I think I ended up wearing a pair of Chance's pants for that. Fortunately, between me tearing my pants on the barbed wire and the show last night, my luggage showed up.
Yeah.
And so, new pair of pants here. But I think at the Ryman, I ended up throwing those pants out into the audience, if I recall.
Man, I forgot all about that. You just unlocked a memory.
And so, speaking of auctions, now I have a pair of pants that has appeared in a music video right here at the Tim Foust and Friends Oregon Getaway that are unwearable. So if anybody wants a piece of history, maybe we'll do an auction for my holy britches.
Just cut it up into a bunch more pieces, man. Just give everybody a square. That's your memorabilia from the whole
Should we do that? Everyone here tonight gets a piece of my britches? All right, we'll do that. And I thought that would, be the end of our adventures. And then today, all the VIPs and Chris and Luis and I hiked to the pond. There's some cliffs, however, beyond the pond that are magical, and I usually know how to get to them
That did it.
from here. But we were at the pond, and so I kind of went over the directions with Abe, and I'm like, "But can you get there from here?" And he's like, "Yeah." That should have been a sign right there. And he said, take that trail about 200 yards, and then take a left and go up the ridge. Turns out I do not know what 200 yards is, because we just went until we hit a fence. I was like, "What do you think? Is that about 200 yards?"
Feels like it. How about
And
that
so
take 20 minutes?
we took a left there on what was kind of a trail. And it proceeded to become less and less of a trail. And we just kept going.
Yep.
Eventually, I handed Chatham
Yeah.
a stick to try to hack his way through the thorns.
I was getting through the thorns with my stick jetty, and it wasn't great.
And
They
he's
fought back.
exceedingly indoorsy.
Like,
And so Luis and I are behind him just laughing our butts off at him trying to hack his way through the thorns. The thorns won, is the moral of that story.
definitely did.
It broke the stick, and eventually we just tried to make our way through. We lost our way pretty good. And there were so many signs to turn around.
Just
But
that-
it took literal blood. We were bleeding. All three of us were bleeding.
Yeah.
And we were like, maybe we should not keep doing this.
Man, I missed
Not
out.
too far. Let's do it.
And so we turned around and started coming back to here, and somehow miraculously found the trail we were looking for, and finally made it to the cliffs.
Yeah.
But not before thorns, splinters, and dozens of burrs in our shoes.
Yeah.
And all over our person. Some of y'all saw me when I
Yeah.
got back.
Yeah.
I was just covered head to toe in burrs,
Yep.
the ones you could see. There are others that I'm going to need help removing later. So we're going to find out if you're real bandmates or not.
Who's a real friend?
So anyway, I just wanted you guys to know what you didn't get to see. I've torn my britches to shreds. I've torn my skin to shreds. But we're still here to make music for you folks. So how about that? All right, well, we